Hello, everybody. I see the numbers are starting to file in here. Happy to see you guys joining. Today is going to be a very, very great webinar. We have some good stuff in store for you guys. So we're going to begin here in just a moment. Let's get that number up here a little bit. While we're waiting here, just want to let everybody know my name is Andrew Farrell. I'm a community engagement specialist here at Patelco Credit Union. I'm going to be kind of monitoring the chat today, fielding some questions that come through there. I'll try my best to respond to a lot of them in the chat if there are some one-off questions, but anything that I do not answer, send your questions to webinars@patelco.org. That's WEBINARS @patelco.org. And yeah, use the chat for Q&A. And I will get those questions as they come in. I will, chime in with Veronica with some questions if we have some good ones as well. But also we're going to have a raffle for everybody who's enrolled today and who is here at the presentation. So all the enrolled email addresses, we are going to pick a few at random at the end of this, and then you are going to be receiving a gift card. We will only notify the winners. So if you do not hear anything, come join us next time and try again. But if you do get an email, then yeah, you've won the raffle and congratulations in advance. We're also going to be recording this webinar, and all of the participants will be getting a copy of it sent to their email addresses as well. So again, happy to see everyone here. My name is Andrew Farrell, and today's webinar is Patelco Credit Union Successful Savings Strategies. So with the uncertainties facing us today, developing healthy savings habits is more critical than ever. The main objective of this webinar here today is to help you guys develop those habits by sharing insights and simple methods to help you guys save during challenging times. No matter where you are on your financial journey, this webinar will teach you new ways to boost your security through saving. I can speak from my own personal experiences. This year has been the year of car problems. I've had my car stolen. I've had my engine go out. I've had my windshield replaced twice. All sorts of nonsense has happened with my car this year. And luckily, I have not had to go in any debt throughout any of these car mishaps due to me employing a lot of these successful saving strategies that you guys are going to learn about today, and really having a nice, beefed up emergency savings. Want to talk about a couple upcoming webinars we have. Wednesday, September 13th, we're going to be doing a Medicare 101 webinar. That'll be a really good one. And then Wednesday, September 27th, we have your financial health, Patelco's Guide to Discovering Membership Perks. So all about the perks and the benefits of having a great account with us here at Patelco Credit Union. So again, welcome to all of the joiners. One more reminder, we are going to have that raffle for all who are enrolled in this. If you receive an email after the presentation, then you have won the raffle. If you have not, try again next time. And just a reminder again, you guys will be receiving a recording of this webinar as well. One more time, my name is Andrew. I will be moderating the chat, so any questions you have, plug them in there. And now I will introduce the lady of the hour, Miss Veronica Dangerfield. Veronica brings an engaging and thought-provoking enthusiasm to her webinars. She is a financial educator for Patelco Credit Union. She is an award-winning international speaker. She is a published poet. She is a professional comedian. What you guys will remember most is how much fun you guys have learning, and you're going to be armed with key takeaways that will shift your thinking and impact your financial life. So, without further ado, Veronica, take it away. Veronica, are you there? Can you hear us? Oh, shoot. Oh, it looks like we have the Facebook Live pop up just now.
Sorry, Andrew.
No, you're fine.
I got a chance to do the Facebook Live.
No worries.
It just took me a couple of minutes to do that, but I'm delighted to be here today. I'm going to go back and share my screen and we are going to have a fabulous presentation today on saving strategies. Good evening, everybody. We're honored and humbled to have you here tonight. We're going to learn a bunch of successful saving strategies, and we are going to have fun. So thank you so much for showing up tonight. I have a lot of really good ideas for you. So thanks for coming in, and let's go. My name is Veronica Dangerfield. I'm the Senior Financial Wellbeing Educator here at Patelco. And I thought tonight I would tell you my origin story. So I was sitting at home about 15 to 20 years ago, cracking myself up because I am hilarious. And my husband, well, he's an ex-husband, and you'll find out why in a minute, was thinking that I was being pretty annoying with my jokes. So what I did was I had a couple of cocktails. I got this book called How to Be a Stand-Up Comic, and I went to a dive bar and I gave a stand-up comedy performance on my life. And guess what, you guys? I killed. It was hilarious, and it began a comedy career for me. And but then reproduction came late, and I had 2 additional small children. And in the mother handbook, it says it's a very bad idea to be out telling jokes to inebriated people with toddlers at home. So what I did was I shifted my comedy career to teaching financial health at Patelco Credit Union. And you have to love credit unions. You have to love the credit union spirit, because they would actually hire a comedian who is prone to spontaneous behavior, and you never know what's coming out of their mouths, to lead the financial initiative. But I love my job. My job is full of passion. I get the opportunity to teach low income, underserved, motherless children. I call them the foster youth, and people who don't have the opportunity to learn the financial basics. I have the privilege and honor of doing that, and I do it with a lot of fun and a lot of jokes, and sometimes they're only funny to me. But I have a great time anyway. So make sure you put your comments in the chat, and let's have a great evening of learning saving strategies. So of course, I'm going to have to tell you about the credit union promise. Our promise is to help you on your financial health and your well-being. Now, your financial health is how effective you are in managing your bills. Being resilient, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and seizing opportunities so that you can live the life of your dreams, whatever that means for you. And we'll hope it will be as unique as your fingerprint. A lot of people are obsessed with retirement planning, but you figure if you retire in your 60s, you might have a whole nother 30 years to go. So I want you to know that don't feel pressure about retiring, because if you have a job that you love, you can actually retire at work, which is what I'm trying to do. But don't tell my boss, okay? So we're going to talk about saving. Now, saving is a fundamental. It is a foundational thing. If you can't save money, you don't have a financial background. And we're going to talk about your goals. My goal is to live for a month in the Caribbean. So, and that is my why. So what is your why? Only when you know your why will you find the courage to take the risk needed to get ahead, to stay motivated. And when the chips are down, you move your life onto an entirely new, more challenging and more rewarding trajectory. That was by Marjorie Warren. So we have to make sure that we have our whys. Our whys are going to stabilize us. Our whys are going to be what is going to keep us on our saving strategy. So I love this. One more quote. The habit of saving itself is an education because it fosters every virtue. It teaches self-denial, it cultivates a sense of order, and it trains to think ahead, forethought, and to broaden our minds. So again, I want to congratulate you for spending 40 minutes, an hour out of your day to focus on your financial health and your financial well-being, because nothing is more important. I had an opportunity to talk to a friend today, yesterday, and he felt very, very overwhelmed. He lives in Las Vegas, and his electricity bills are usually around $163 a month. But however, they had a new company move in, and they needed to do a lot of construction, and his bill went from $163 to $600 a month. And of course, with the wage decreasing and with the inflation increases, you know, what was he going to do? What it did was it depleted his entire savings, but he still had some other debt. And later on in the presentation, I'm going to share with you some of the advice that I gave my friend who was overwhelmed with the increasing price of living. He lives in Las Vegas. Now, y'all know how hot Las Vegas is. So he had to have heating and air conditioning. So we have these challenges. And when we have these challenges, there's things that we have to actually have an open mindset, right? We have to think in different ways. So we have to be creative. Creativity increases our self-confidence, and it enables us to have alternative ways of being. As human beings, we're conditioned to want to experience the same thing. We do not like change, but the only thing that's constant in life is change. It allows us to be adaptive so we can adjust to new conditions. We can change our purposes so that we can adjust to the new situations that we have. And we can also, adaptivity also allows us to adapt to change. And then of course we have to be resilient. Resilience allows us to recover from obstacles quickly. Resilience has us to be tougher, and then we can spring back. So right now I would like to do a poll, and I want everybody to answer, what is your biggest obstacle to saving? Is it inflation and rising costs? Is it a lack of income? Is it hard to keep a structure around, a lack of discipline? My children came home, all three of them. And as much as I love my children, let me tell you, I was overwhelmed. They kept playing with the air conditioner and they kept eating everything in the house. And you know, I have a very small budget. So, so we can see right here, I'm going to show you what the polls are. I'm going to give you a couple of more minutes. It looks like lack of discipline is coming in as number one. We have lack of income coming in as number two. And we have poor budgeting coming in as number three. And then we have inflation just overtook poor budgeting. So I'm going to share what the results were. As you can see, there's a variety of reasons that people are challenged with their with saving. But if you have the lack of discipline, that means that you have enough income. You just need to use your money more wisely. And inflation has affected all of us. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, I'm going to give you some, I'm going to share a lot of ways that we can overcome this. So thank you for taking the poll. Did you everybody get a chance to look at it? All righty then. Let's take the poll off. So our learning objectives today. I always start out with financial fundamentals because they're the building blocks. We create what we pay attention to. And where energy goes, energy flows. So we're going to review the fundamentals because sometimes the learning people say that it takes like 6 to 9 times to actually have something penetrate your head and stay there. So if you hear it over again. I want you to be very patient, and I want you to have, as the Buddhists say, a beginner's mind. Buddhist economics say that when you work, you should provide for your needs, and to develop character and make contributions to your community. So, and then I'm going to ask you to act today. I'm going to give you some tools, and I don't want you to just listen to my voice. I want you to be action-oriented. And after the end of this presentation, I want you to be so excited about your financial life that you do 1, 2, or 3 small things, because that will make a huge difference. So now we're going to talk about saving, which is the fundamentals. And I'm going to teach you how to save. Because when I was a young person, my mother told me to open up a savings account. And I was 18 years old, and I went and I opened up a savings account. And 5 years later, I had a savings account that was nothing in it, because she didn't tell me to put no money in it. She just told me to open it up. So I'm going to, and if you have a challenge saving, this is going to actually support you. So we're going to review some of the foundations now, and I'm going to teach you right now how to prevent from living paycheck to paycheck. Because once you can stop living paycheck to paycheck, guess what? The door to abundance is opened. And prosperity will be at the little birdie at your window singing every morning. And it's going to be singing. You know what the birdie's going to be singing in your window? Oh, happy day, because you figured it out. So this is a basic principle. Pay yourself first. The first person that gets any of your money before you pay your rent, before you pay your groceries, before you pay anybody, you pay the first person who's a priority in your life, and that's yourself. You have to become your own savior. So your disposable income, and then it goes to your savings and investing, and then you spend the rest. Now I'm going to tell you exactly how to prevent going paycheck to paycheck, because most people do earn, spend, earn, spend. That means nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Remember that song, Andrew? You got to have something if you want to be with me. Anyway, earn,
song.
Spend, borrow. And then earn, save, spend. And this is how you guys are going to do it. I'll try not to sing anymore, okay? So this is what you have to do. You have to prioritize savings in multiple accounts. You have to have a savings account that's secret. You don't have access to it with a debit card that is set up on automatic saving, and you set it and forget it. And it has to be sacred, because you are the most sacred person in your financial life. If you don't prioritize yourself, you're going to prioritize your bill, and you create what you pay attention to. So if you prioritize your bills, you're just going to get more of them, and you deserve better than that. And it has to be safe from your impulsive spending. You know, you cannot have access to your money when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. That's halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're definitely going to overspend. And then it has to be separate. And I think separate is the most important part of this, because if you don't have your money separate, you're going to see it, and then you're going to want to spend it. And of course, we have to have our goals. We have to have our short-term goals, which is for emergencies, seasonal shopping, and fun and entertainment. You got to have your midterm goals for special events, for new purchases, for down payments, for your education. And then you have your long-term goals for your retirement, your medical bill, your large purchases, and for your travel. How many of you have an account in the chat? Do the letter number 1 if you save for your travel? We got, how many people save for travel? How many of you guys save for your entertainment? Okay, Vicky, right on. So then we're going to go on to the next thing. So we have to have an emergency fund and a sinking fund. My son works for Netflix, and he has been on strike for the last 5 months. But before he went on strike, because he's a very, very wise son, had a budgeting session with his mom. And because he had a sinking fund, it saved him from really having some financial hardships. A sinking fund is for infrequent but planned expenses. How many of you save for your insurance, your car insurance, for your registration is coming up? It varies depending upon your goal. So you need an emergency account that just is going to do your unexpected expenses, right? And then you're going to need your sinking fund for infrequent but planned expenses. And what this is about, you guys, is anticipating future expenses. When Andrew had all of those problems with his car, he did not anticipate it. But because Andrew was a great saver, he probably saved himself a lot of extra stress, because even though he did not want to spend all that money on that car, because he was a great saver, he at least had the money that prevented having a financial catastrophe instead of having a financial emergency. And then, of course, we have to budget. We have to budget. Budgeting is so important. If you're not counting your dollars, you're wasting them. So how many of you actually use a budget? So a budget is tracking every dollar you earn and spend. This is going to be done on a piece of paper, on an Excel sheet. And the things you learn about your spending will be priceless, because some of you are unconsciously spending. And if you're unconsciously spending, you're wasting your money. You want to make sure that you are spending your money on what you value. You're putting your money in service to your value and your true happiness. So prioritize what you love and value, and save on what you don't. A budget should improve your financial future, but it should not sacrifice your present. So when you get ready to purchase something, spend 30 minutes on asking why. So there's only 2 types of money problems. There's an income problem and there's a spending problem. When you have an income problem, the only way you can solve that is to be creative and get more money. But if you have a budgeting problem, that's all you have to do is become more attentive and intentional about every dollar that you spend. So now I'm going to ask you a question. And each of you, I want you to answer in your mind. Do you know exactly how much you spent last week on groceries? Do you know exactly how much you spent last week on eating out? Do you know exactly how much you spent on your kids? If you can't answer those questions, and I know this feels a little bit intimidating, and I know it feels like, Veronica, why do I have to go to a zero budget? If you understand how you spend, you won't even lose anything, but you will gain from increasing the quality of your life. Why? Because you're increasing the quality of your choices. And you deserve that. It's very difficult living with all of these challenges. And being adaptable and flexible is a skill that we have to practice all the time. But you create what you pay attention to. So make sure that when we have the next presentation, that you can say, Veronica, you know what? I spent $45 on groceries, and I spent $150 on eating out because my kids came and I don't cook. And when I do cook, nobody eats it. So I had to go and spend $150 extra out of my budget. It's painful sometimes, but every once in a while you have to do it. But if you plan for it, it's a little bit better. So the next slide is, so now we're going to talk about the low-hanging fruit, things that you need to start doing right away. And the things that you should start doing right away is stop buying water Stop using napkins. Start meal planning. Stop eating out. What other things in the chat can you do to start saving money? You can stop impulsive spending. You can start buying in bulk. Sorry about that. You can stop buying plastic wrap. You can stop buying shredded cheese. You know you can shred that cheese yourself. Stop buying condiments. Stop pizza delivery. Start batching and freezing canned goods and soup. Write a list of things that you can live without and then stop buying them. No more impulse shopping. Stop paying late fees. If you have any bank accounts that's asking for fees, stop doing that. Stop ghosting subscriptions and find a creative way to start paying credit card interest. I actually have a great idea on how to do that. So that's the low-hanging fruit.
Veronica, can I chime in here real quick and share one tip that I have as well for saving?
Absolutely.
So this is something I learned about earlier this year, and it has really been a lifesaver for me. It has changed the game completely. It's called the 30-day rule. And it's really helped curb my impulse spending, because I was very big on, I have an idea of something I want, I hop on Amazon, I buy it, it's there in a day. And 9 times out of 10, I don't even actually need that thing. I just have the impulse. So what I've started doing is, it's called the 30-day rule. Make yourself wait 30 days anytime you do any kind of impulse purchase. So I'll still add it to my cart. I'll think about it. Maybe if I'm at the store, I can take a picture of it to remember it. But I won't actually make the purchase until 30 days have passed. And I typically find that after a couple days, it's, out of sight, out of mind. And I've saved myself whatever, money I was going to spend on that was.
That is an excellent suggestion. And I also heard that take the money that it would take to purchase the item, and then have the item in your hand, and then look at both of them and decide whether this is something that you want to do. But what I love about what you said, Andrew, is being intentional and conscious about how you're spending. So thank you for that great tactic. So we're going to talk about saving on utilities. Insert a smart thermometer. Give your water heater a hug. It cools down the water heater. Do your chores after 7 p.m. I try not to do any laundry, and I try to teach my roommates not to do any laundry until after 7, because I have found with PG&E, it's a big, big savings difference. Fight phantom power consumption. Do you guys leave your air fryer plugged in? Do you leave your microwave plugged in? Do you have your television plugged in when you're not at home? If you have that done, I'm telling you, you're wasting money, because it's charging you interest. Keep your vents open and clean. Make sure your dishwasher works for you. Stop washing dishes in the sink, put them in the dishwasher. Even though it seems like it's a lot of water, you actually save. Replace old toilets to make them more water efficient. Get free solar savings from Google. And as the Supreme song used to say, you better shop around. Control your thermostat and run appliances at night. And another thing that that you can save a lot of money on is food waste. I don't know about you, but I try to be very intentional about eating everything in the refrigerator when it's time to eat. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what you're going to stop doing. We talked a little bit about that. Not only are you going to focus on what you want to do, but also what you want to stop doing. Stop spending spontaneously, because poverty is just not a lack of money. It's a lack of having the capacity to realize one's full potential. So on what you need to stop doing. I personally need to stop eating out. I used to go out to lunch and it would be $25, and now it's $50. So I have to make sure that I budget. I also stopped, I buy in bulk now. And I also use a cashback card so that I can, when I do shop, I can get the money back. All righty then. So high interest credit card debt. This is the thing that I told my friend. If you have high interest credit card debt, you can lower the amount of interest that you pay on it by paying the same amount that you're going to pay, but pay it more frequently. What happens is when you pay more frequently, the credit card interest amortizes. So this is how interest accumulates. When you make a payment, it pays the principal, it pays the interest, and then the interest starts accumulating again. If you have a brand new car and your payment is $500 and you make your $250, you make sure that on the first you pay the entire $500. And then 15 days later, you pay $250. And then 15 days later, you pay $250. You will save on interest. And the reason why is because every time you make a payment, you pay the interest down. And then the interest is lower. And then, so if you have high interest rate credit card debt, you can't transfer it, the balance to a zero interest rate. What you can do is you have to make sure you have the full payment by the due date, but you're going to break the payment amount up in half and pay it twice a month instead of once a month. This is how people have a 30-year mortgage and they pay it in 21 years. It's because they pay bi-weekly. It's a great way to amortize your loans, and this works on simple straight interest loans. So if you have a car loan, especially a new one, if you have a credit card, and especially if it has a high balance, you can increase the payments, but not the amount, to decrease the amount of interest that you pay. Did you guys get that? Yeah. So yeah, so especially if you got, and the credit card interest rates right now are 18.9%, all the way up to 30%. So paying that interest rate down quickly is a great way to save a lot of money. And also, Patelco has I also wanted to say, look at the true cost of everything that you buy. So if you buy a car, you have to remember to include the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, and also how much tax you get earning. Right now, if I'm in the 22 percentile, when I'm making a payment, I'm also paying the 22% tax that I had to earn when I got my paycheck, as well as the taxes that it takes to have the car. So remember to know to add the taxes, your personal income rate on all of your purchases so that you can get the true cost of your purchase. Hey, Andrew.
Veronica, so there were a couple questions in the chat just asking for a little bit more clarification, what you were talking about earlier with the high interest credit cards and how that can be translated to saving. Do you mind touching on that just a little bit more?
Okay, so when you have a balance, let's say your balance is $3,000. That balance is going to be affected by an APR. And the APR is divided by 365 days, and then it's calculated daily on your account. So what you can do is instead of having your car loan sit for a whole 30 days, so that's 30 days worth of interest that you're going to pay. Instead of having it sit for 30 days worth of interest, you're going to have it sit for 15 days worth of interest. The 15 days, at the 15th day, you're going to pay your principal balance down. You're going to pay the interest on it. And then the interest is going to start accumulating again, but it's going to be lower, right? Because you've already made a payment on it and the interest was paid and the principal went down. So now it's going to amortize again. So instead of having 30 days worth of interest sit on your account, you're only going to have 15 days of interest sit. And then every 15 days, it's going to slap that, that interest down and the principal down. Next time, you guys, I promise I will give you a, I'll have a visual for you. But just remember that interest accumulates every day when it's compounding, every day. And if you pay it in 15 days instead of 30 days, the amount you pay in 15 days is going to be less than the amount you would pay in 30 days. So and every time a loan gets a payment, it pays the principal down and it pays the interest. And then it has to start over again. So instead of having 30 days worth of interest, you're only going to have 15 days worth of interest, and then another 15 days worth of interest at a lower balance. Andrew, how did I do? In the chat, was that a little bit clearer? Whenever you make a payment, it pays the principal and it pays the interest. So every time that it gets a payment, the interest gets paid down and your principal balance gets paid down. So what you want to do is you're going to pay it twice so that you won't get 30 days worth of interest. You'll only be paying 15 days worth of interest at a lower balance. Pop back on, Andrew.
It was great. People in the chat are saying it was helpful. Thank you very much. Understood.
Yeah, and that goes.
Elaboration. Yeah,
that goes for any straight interest loan. And I wanted to get a little bit deeper so that you know, because sometimes you can't refinance the debt you have, and the interest rates are really, really high. Patelco has a pure credit card right now, and the rate on that is 10.99. But a lot of the Chase cards, American Express, they're 24, 25%. So it's really, really hard when you have that amount of interest that's accumulating monthly and you're making just one payment a month. So when you divide that out, and if you go to any amortization calculator, it will show you the more frequent the payments, the less interest you pay. Okay, Ashe, did you guys get that? I went a little deep, but I knew that you guys could get it. So now I also wanted to quickly let you know that we do have a money market and 11-month CD that is really good. Your money is going to be safe. The 3% money market plus, if you put a $500 in a checking account, there's no maximum amount you can put in. And it's just a great way to save money that's safe, that's liquid, and it's your credit union supporting you in doing that. So you can also go to myfinancialjourney.com. You can go to Balance Pro, or you can go to patelco.org to get more information. So I am going to stop the share and see if we have any other questions. Oh, I have one here. It says, Victoria wants to know what budgeting apps do I recommend? I like Mint. And I also like this one. It's called Penny, but Penny is a little pushy. She wants you to, okay, she wants me to reshare. Penny is a little pushy, but it is a great, app. I'm gonna go and from the beginning, let's go back. Is this what you wanted to see, Victoria? Yes. That's the 3%. I talked a lot. I had a lot of, had a lot of information for you. If you have any questions, you can also send us an email at webinars.com. You can call us. You can get a certified financial counselor that can support you regardless of whether your membership status is at Patelco. But we are here to support your financial health. And saving is a fundamental, and it's a little difficult right now because we live in the Bay Area. It's a high cost of living area. But that means that we have to be a little bit more creative, adaptable, and resilient. Creativity really is going to support us in our long-term goals. So.
And then Veronica, can you put the previous slide up with the email addresses again?
Okay, sure.
Appreciate it.
Sure. Oops. There it goes. I want to thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for spending the evening with us. We just love having you here. We want to do everything we can to support your financial health and your well-being. I went through that pretty fast, so you can have some of your time back. If you have any questions, please give us a call, a text, a web. I want to thank Andrew for being so supportive and helpful. And we will see you on the next webinar, which is the Medicare one. And that's coming up the second Wednesday of September. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.